Hello and welcome out to Gamers Council. Man, we have a awesome panel tonight and some great topics to go over. I'm one of your hosts, WebDave, and your other host, RHETRI. RHETRI, what's going on, buddy?
What's good, Dave? I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. And a special thank you to Doomcutie, because it's 7 a.m. where she is right now. And I was saying in the green room, I think I would have said no to the show, but she's a trooper, so I appreciate her
Thank you
getting
so
up
much.
early and joining us.
Yeah. No problem.
Awesome. And
Absolutely
post up, of
amazing.
course. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
as well,
no
sir.
problem. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Doomcutie, can you say something one more time?
Hello?
Yeah, we were getting a little static from you, I think.
There's, I don't know, wait, it was good earlier? You might want to jump
Hold on,
out
let me
and jump right back in. Let's see
Yeah.
if that helps.
Yeah, we got a little static coming from her side.
Yeah, and I want
that
everybody to be able to hear her because she's awesome.
It's an
Welcome
Australian
everybody in the
internet
chat. Thank you all so much for being here. We greatly appreciate you. Hey, RHETRI, tell them how that the speak pipe works in case they want to use that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Let me throw out the link for SpeakPipe. If you guys want to leave us a voicemail statement or an opinion or anything, you can just click on this right here, and that will bring you to our SpeakPipe for Gamers Council, where you can leave us up to a 90-second voicemail for anything you want to talk about. Obviously, we're talking about CMA tonight. We're talking about some other topics, like some games and whatnot. And but you guys are allowed to leave us a message and talk about virtually anything that you want to talk about. So as you guys know, this is a community-based show. So we have our topics that we want to talk about, but we are willing to go in any direction. We've done it before. We've totally gone off script, but whatever you guys in the chat want to talk about. And, anything's up for, anything pop culture, anything geek culture is all game here. So anything you guys want to leave us a message for, go for it. We love to get those, and they will be played here.
Yeah, and just
live.
I'm a Leo. I like walking on the beach, and
that's right.
That's the wrong kind of chat. Sorry. Anyway,
what's up, King Webb? Welcome, brother.
Yeah, like Def Leppard's in there. Awesome.
I love that name.
That's cool. That's cool. Let's go. We're gonna give her another minute to jump back in here, and then we're just gonna go ahead and start on the topics, and then we'll add her when she comes back. Sure. So anyway, like it is early for her, and it was funny, man. In the green room, she sounded perfect, and as soon as the show started, it started gargling, and it's just probably an internet connection. That happens, man. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah,
but we want to make sure
it's happened to me
her.
before too with StreamYard. Sometimes I've actually had that issue months ago for some reason. Every time I came into StreamYard, my mic would do some weird stuff. So I don't know what it is. What's up, Mr. Bushito? If I said that right. Yeah. Welcome, brother. RSJ fan.
Pixelbit G. Pixelbit. I don't know if you noticed or not, but you are now a mod too. So you have the power.
Love his takes.
Post up, you also have you should have the power as well in there. I should have made you a mod, I think, as well in the chat if you decide you ever want to get in there and wreak havoc. I mean,
definitely.
And out some discipline.
I see it.
I'll tell Doomcutie when she comes back. Hopefully, she'll be back soon. All right, so cool. I guess do you want to go ahead and let's go ahead and your first topic that you like to do every week with a new guest.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's hit on that while we give her a minute or two to get back.
Yeah. So I ask you post up. What games have you been playing, sir? Any games that you've been playing, or I also like to ask about any new TV shows or movies or anything in pulp culture that's got you excited. It doesn't have to be a game, but we'll start with what you've been playing and anything else that has been interesting you lately.
Let me see here. The other day I just beat HiFi Rush.
Oh, nice.
Got situated at the house. The fiance stopped asking me to drill, nail, hammer, putting things up. When they go in decoration mode, it is something, man.
Duck.
And if you don't put it up right then and there, it is a prop. And I tell you to put them curtains up 2 days ago. But I finally got to opportunity to beat HiFi Rush, and it was freaking incredible.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is
so good.
Amazing game. And the final level was just incredible. Especially the part where they get shield off and he's sitting there trying to break through the shit. He's going through all these memories and motivational speech. It was just really emotional and right there. So when you break through, you're like, wow. And I didn't expect that. From this game. And the boss was pretty tough. Too.
Yeah, I had a tough time with that last boss. I'm not gonna lie. I must have died 40 times. I don't think I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, it took me quite I didn't want to try it. It took me quite a few times.
Yeah.
To get past him, but I finally did, and it was well worth it. I hope some DLC content comes out for it. And I hope we get a part 2, a continuation of the story. But the game was magnificent. One of the best games I played this year. I also started The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which is looking beautiful, might I add. I do have some issues with the gameplay mechanics in terms of the jumping mechanic, and which is really frustrating. And sometimes it might make.
Does it feel like it's lagging to you, Post?
It feel like it's it lags, and sometimes when you jump towards the edge, it don't recognize that you at the edge, and he's supposed to grab and pull you up. The fighting mechanics is a little bit outdated, but I do know I'm working with a base character, and they let you know that you have to you don't have to obtain certain things to upgrade his abilities to be able to get to places that you want, jump farther and things like that. So that's why I'm kind of push through to see where it goes. Maybe hopefully the jumping mechanics and the fighting mechanics get a lot better. I downloaded Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm going to start that probably today and kind of bounce between that. And I also forgot that I prior to moving, I purchased Hogwarts Legacy.
Nice.
I haven't touched it yet.
Dude, I am so the fact that you are just finished up HiFi Rush and you get to play Hogwarts, I wish I had a time machine. I'm so freaking jealous because those are 2 of my favorite games this year by a mile. They're so good.
And so I didn't realize I purchased it before I moved. So now when I piled up, I said, "Oh, I forgot I purchased." So I got to dig into that because everybody that I know that played it love it. Yeah, love it. Says
game of the year material. It is so good.
Yeah, definitely into that. And then in terms of pop culture and TV, I'm definitely into the anime scene.
Nice.
So we got an incredible year of anime. And I'm watching a few animes. I know Demon Soul just started back up. 100, the Psycho Mob 100. That animated is incredible in its 3rd season. I think it might be the final season if I'm not mistaken. Then you got Attack on Titans. Also, it's a few other ones that I'm watching too, but those are the ones that I'm looking at. I'm looking at so many anime, I can't even list them
Nice.
right now.
I hear you, dude.
It's some new ones that just came out that I'm into in the I think about 2 or 3 got that. Well, you die and you're reborn in another world. You got these incredible powers, but it's one where the guy he's in a regular world and he got power and stuff like that, and he's powerful, but in terms of religion, he don't believe in God and all that stuff. So he asks the God of that world, he said, "Please put me in a world where people don't throw this religion and God at you." So that actually happens, and turns out that after he gets in this world, right, the way the world's set up, now he got to get people to believe in the God.
Oh, I kind of like that. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, the God that was protecting him. Now that God is in that world with him, she don't have a lot of followers, so she don't have a lot of power. So the more followers she have, the more power she get. And the regime that he's gonna have to fight against, he need power. So now he got to go around.
Now he's got to
and-
do like kind of what he doesn't want to
and
do
wanna
back in the day.
in other way. Now he got to go build this whole religion and get all these followers to believe in that God. Yo,
Oh,
False
goodness.
prophet. False prophet.
exactly. I gotta find out to figure out the name of it. But I love the
Ooh,
story.
you're gonna have
It's
to
really
DM me that,
different.
dude. That sounds really good. I just
I
got
would
into
DM.
like Attack on Titan and Demon Hunter like big time. I just started
Yeah.
getting into anime because of Umbra, and Danny got me into it. I was like, what? Let me get on this anime train. What do you guys recommend? And they recommended
Yeah,
Attack on Titan,
yeah.
which is the best thing I've ever seen.
It is
and
amazing.
Demon
for
Hunter,
sure.
which is absolutely amazing. So far they're 2 for 2. So I'm gonna
Definitely,
have to check out. You're gonna have-
definitely. Hey,
if
I
you
wanna-
remember that one, post up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
DM
I'm
me.
I wanna-
definitely going. I'll DM it to you.
I want to
Awesome.
welcome back in Doomcutie. Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. I know I love technical problem. But you sound
You sound
apologies.
good.
No,
You
no
sound
apologies
perfect now.
necessary. It happens. You sound good. You sound really
Yeah.
good.
Except my camera doesn't work now, so but that's okay as long as you can hear me.
That's we
That's
hit. You're
crazy, but
very
that's okay.
crisp, so I'd rather have that than the
Oh,
staticky
beautiful.
you.
Well, we saw you earlier, so we know she's real.
Yeah,
That's right.
Oh well.
Just playing. And just to give you a heads up, Doomcutie, I don't know if, just so you know, I did make you a moderator as well, so you have the power to, if somebody gives you a hard time, you just boot them.
Bounce their
Boom.
ass out of here. Yeah, we don't expect that.
Aw.
These guys are very
exactly.
respectful.
Most are exactly. Our people have been really respectful here and very nice. But we want to make sure that you know that you do have the power to do that. So because that's to us, it's important. We're guests that come on. We want to make sure that you guys know how much we respect and love having you here.
Absolutely.
And Retro, if you don't mind, ask that same question to Doomcutie
Yeah,
that you asked
for sure.
Post Up.
Doomcutie. So we're just talking about with Post Up, what games have you been playing, and any TV shows or movie or any pulp culture stuff outside of games that you also wanna when you talk about anything that excites you. But we'll start off with the games. What have you been playing?
I actually did a post on Twitter yesterday about what I've been playing, and I love seeing what other people play. Like it's so interesting to me. I actually got into a conversation which I'll mention afterwards. But I just jumped into Star Wars Jedi Survivor, just like every other person in gaming. I'm sure.
Yep.
I'm sure lots of you have jumped into it. I do have my 2 regular games that I normally play. So I'm normally on World of Warcraft. Dragonflight's amazing. The new season's going to be launching very soon, and I'm very excited to jump into that. I've got a lovely guild, and it's if you like big MMOs and you haven't heard of this, I'm sure lots of people have heard of this game. But if you haven't heard of it, go check
You
it
never
out.
know.
It's a great community. So yeah, and obviously my Forza Horizon 5, got to keep up with that. Got to do my
Nice.
weeklies.
I see your tweets on that.
Yeah. So that's been really fun. A game that actually has my attention, which honestly I did not think would ever grab me, is this strategy multiplayer turn-based game where you're a monarch, and then like people around you in different factions have to overthrow you. So
Do you know what the name of that is?
yeah, it's called King of the Castle. I've streamed it a couple of times now.
I knew it. I was like, that sounds so familiar. Okay, yeah.
It's
Very
made
cool.
by Team 17, and they have some very quirky kind of games. And I am so they made Dredge. So this is probably a little bit different to what they've done before, but it does involve playing with, like, it's a 4-player game, so you do need other people to play with you. It's Twitch integrated, but they also have their own website hosting as well, so you can just play privately. It doesn't just rely on Twitch. And yeah, that's been a lot of fun. They have a whole Discord and everything, so people in there will jump into games together, which has been really, really fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I play a lot of different kinds of games. Someone shared out my tweet yesterday, and they said play everything but finish none. I have finished games before. So
I'm
it's
kind of
not
like
that-
that too, so it's fine.
And then we were talking about backlog and stuff like that. I'm like, honey, it's not backlog.
Oh, boy.
That's your library. It's a library of
That's a good.
games.
I like that way. I like that way of thinking because then it doesn't make me feel bad about the fact that I have like 1,000 games that I have to start, never mind finish. But you know, I think it's okay not to finish games. I maybe because I do it. I don't know. You know, there's plenty of games that I move on to the next
you're
hot
gonna
thing.
open a can of
you know?
worms there.
I
You
know.
go-
Yeah. It's the zeitgeist. I'm like, I want to talk
Mhm.
around the water cooler too with you guys. Hence why I, got, Jedi, the latest Star Wars game, which I'm enjoying a lot, by the way. I think I'm
Mhm.
not having a lot of issues with it. I don't know. Are you playing it on PC, Doomcutie, the Star Wars game, or are you playing it on console?
I'm playing it on Xbox. So
Okay.
if a game is out on everything, with the exception of Hogwarts, because I actually own that across all devices. Because
Nice.
One of those. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Look, people love GTA and they have it on everything. Like it's the same thing. If
That's-
you really love a game,
Yes.
you'll play it on everything.
Skyrim for me. So yeah, I can't really talk any ish on that. So you're good.
But it's been fine. It's been fine on Xbox. I guess the only thing that I have been feeling as I've gotten more into the game is I feel a little bit stiff, if that makes sense, in the
Mhm.
beginning. I feel like it's going to flow a lot more as I open up new abilities and using the
Like the skill
lightsaber.
trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but other than that, it's been wicked fun. Lots and lots of fun. And that actually leads me into what I've been enjoying, like in TV sort of
Mhm.
wise.
Oh, nice.
Mandalorian. Hello.
Yup.
I was obsessed with the last 3 episodes. I think I've watched them like 10 times.
Do you know what number episode they're on right now? Because I watched 5 and 6, and they were fantastic. Like some of
They
the
have
best
it's finished.
Mandalorian I've. Oh, I'm way behind then. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, because there was some
But you
boring
are
episodes
in
for
for
me,
a
but-
treat.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there was some slow episodes in the beginning,
Yeah.
but honestly, it's got the best episodes of Mandalorian so far. So you're in. If I could go back and watch it for the first time,
That's good to hear.
then yeah, you are. Oh my gosh, loving that. And obviously, I think Star Wars is really, really in their golden age at the moment. Like I know people felt like, the last movies weren't that great, but like
Mhm.
honestly, it's they're in. I feel like they're in their prime. I really do.
Did you
And I know
enjoy? Are you one of the kind of the outliers where you actually liked the last 2 movies?
I
Or-
did.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't like how it ended. Like I feel I feel like I wasn't happy that Ben Solo died. Spoilers, sorry guys, but it's been out for a while now.
Right.
If you don't know that he died,
What?
then
I'm
good
just,
times.
I'm just playing. It's too funny.
So I feel like lots of people didn't like that, but I adore that world. So for me, anything that comes out about it is going to be really, really entertaining for me. So I've got no problem with that, and I feel like they got that Disney money now.
That's true. They definitely do. And they
Like
got
not
a lot of shows. So
So yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more in that world, and a Mandalorian game would be fantastic. just
Absolutely.
saying. And yeah, if that came out, I would be chuffed as. So,
Yeah.
what else? I'm not really an anime person. I don't know why. When I was, and you know what? Don't look. I'm probably
okay.
going. Look, I'm probably going to get dethroned from any kind of gaming
No.
throne that I'm on. But I've never played a Pokemon game outside of the Game Boy games.
Me
Like,
either. So I guess we're both screwed.
I played a few.
Not one.
I just
What,
I
Pokemon?
don't know.
Yep.
Oh, no,
yeah,
we
Pokemon.
never-
No, we're not doing.
Never
I
touched it.
couldn't do the. I didn't even watch the cartoon. I didn't.
I watched it as a kid,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, and I sort of like JRPGs and things like that. Like they're fantastic, and they have like these massive followings, and I just can't get into it. And I think that's why I do enjoy MMOs, but I've never gotten into Final Fantasy. And I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. It's not for me, unfortunately. I don't. But I appreciate
if you don't hit it, don't hit it. Like it's okay. It
That's
doesn't have to
right.
hit
That's
for you.
right.
Some people anime, some people don't. It's cool. I didn't used to anime at first either. I had, it took me a while to get into it, but when I got into it and found the content that I liked, man, it took off from there. Now
I think that's it though, right?
Yeah.
Post, like I think you got to hit the. I know, like back in the day, I wasn't big into anime either, and I watched like Vampire Hunter D, and that was like great.
Yeah.
And Spirited Away, I really liked that movie, but I think some anime for some people it's just too wacky and maybe too out there and too weird. But you just gotta, once you find that thing, like Attack on Titan I was like, okay, I'm sold on anime. That was my catalyst for going, I need to look into other stuff, because if anything's this good, maybe. That's I know. I know. I hit the peak.
It was a rat. It was I say, okay, because you do get weird and wacky, like, what is this? But like it is something out there that you be like, okay, now this is where it's at. You just gotta find your way through it. That's all. But it's cool though.
Yeah, I want to jump in real quick and just say welcome out to you're good. This is all talk. This is all what we're about. Well, welcome out Mr. Boomstick. Love it. Double Bear Gaming is in the house, and we love Boom, and we appreciate him being here. Cammy is just jumped up. Hey, Cammy, how's it going? Hope you're feeling better with you, darling.
I sent her out the invite, FYI. So she will be coming on the show eventually, right, Cammy? Promises were made. Not to put you on the spot.
No pressure. And Galveston, thank you so much for being here. Wolf of Darkness, so many others, and great. We appreciate every single one of y'all being here. We really do, guys. Awesome. I think we're good and warmed up. RHETRI, let's jump on the first topic.
Yeah. Well, we have to talk about it, guys. It happened midweek, and that's obviously
something happened.
Yeah, some things happen. So CMA blocks Microsoft ABK merger.
I heard that.
All right. Yeah. So honestly, I don't know many people who expected this. I know in the beginning, on Boom's podcast and other people's podcasts, I did preach the CMA was the entity I was worried about the most. And unfortunately, I was weirded out by Sony's stance, because I called out on Boom's podcast a long time ago. I said, I don't understand why Sony is going after COD. If I were them and I wanted to kill this deal, I would go after cloud. And unfortunately, I don't know if they, that was discussed with the CMA and Sony directly, because I don't know. But it seems what CMA is blocked this for is they let the Call of Duty and their terrible bad math go on that regard and moved on to the cloud and blocked this based on the cloud. Guys, I'll start with you, Doomcutie. What are your thoughts about this block from the CMA? First of all, do you care? Does this affect you? Are you an Activision Blizzard fan? And what do you think about this? What are your first thoughts?
Well, I've spoken on this quite a few times now, obviously in chats and on Xbox Infinite, and people are quite heated about this. Yes. And we were talking to King David about this. I'm sure you all know who he is.
Yes.
And honestly, I feel like the industry has evolved in such a way that laws and the way that we deal with business may not have evolved at the same rate. And unfortunately, deals like this will continue to suffer until these processes are updated.
Yep.
Very good point. I like the way you're going.
Hold on.
Yeah, no problem.
I do agree with that. That even the CMA's their current policies is outdated. and until that changes, you're going to see this. But we're in a very strong political climate as well, and a lot of this is less about whether the deal actually protects consumers and competition, and more about politics, because you got two regular. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Go ahead, Q.
Sorry.
Oh,
No, you're good.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Oh, and the fact they're basing their argument is based on figures that don't actually make sense. So I don't know about you
their
guys,
math is bad again.
but I don't know about you, but I don't actually. So I'm an Ultimate Xbox subscriber. Have been for a long time. I do get access to cloud gaming.
Yes.
But do you think I use it? Australia's internet is Australia's internet, and I would say probably 90% of the world's internet is not good enough to support this. Now, Microsoft is living in the future. They're predicting that this will be something that will be useful in the future, which is smart. It's smart of them. However, the fact of the matter is they're using those inflated numbers. They're saying, "Oh, this many people have access to cloud gaming." It's like, but no one uses them, darling.
Exactly.
Like, so this is not as big of a deal as you think it is. And I understand that they were looking for a loophole, and I think certain people pointed that out, and they thought, well, there's not enough actual enforced regulations around cloud gaming, so they shut it down. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So it's very sneaky. I don't know who gains. I don't know who gains from this, but yeah, it's
this person might. Retri, read that chat.
That's Jim Ryan's first party GoFundMe account. Microsoft didn't consider that I'd be doing the numbers for the CMA for the players. That's true, Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan's always here greeting us with his infinite wisdom. I appreciate that. But yeah, Doomcutie, I agree with you. The 60 to 70% number just jumped out to me, and I just went, what the F? Like, where did they pull that out of their butts? Like, where did that come from? I guess, it's a nice scary number when it's 60 to 70% of like something that almost doesn't exist yet. You know what I mean? It's such a weird, it feels like a flex of a number just to for a headline, right? Just for it to be like a sub headline to show out there and say, see, look it. That's close to monopoly numbers, guys. Like, watch out. Like, we're protecting, obviously they are not protecting the consumer. They are not protecting me, you, and anyone that is playing games, because Microsoft was giving out the cloud contracts, 10-year contracts, out to everybody who was willing to accept them. And what was weird to me is I read some of the stuff that came from the CMA, and they frickin' said 10 years wasn't enough. And I'm thinking, what are you smoking, dude? Give me some of that, because it's obviously good. Like, what the hell would be good enough if 10 years isn't good enough for cloud gaming deals for Activision games and Blizzard games? I don't understand what Microsoft could have possibly done to satisfy the CMA. I think this was just an excuse and something to latch onto.
Thriller in the chat. Microsoft is being punished for innovating in a space that's not even developed yet. You're definitely 100%
Thriller.
Right. It's just such a shame. It really, really is. But you know what? I feel like the deal will end up going through, but they'll just say, okay, we just won't have it in the UK.
Well, that's
and then the UK will have a SAD, and then they'll go back and they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, well, yeah, we agree. Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Just say yes.
It's so easy to say yes, right?
Well, let me play this. We're not close to done with this subject because I got some other questions to ask you.
We got to get post-ups take too.
Well, yeah, we're definitely going to get post-ups. But let me just play this like hit list of the greatest hits of what's going on here. But let's take a listen to this.
Is closed for business. The UK economy clearly doesn't seem to want this, and it's unbelievable given that everybody in the games industry, with the exception of Sony, admittedly, seem to think this is genuinely a good idea.
And one of the things that you would expect is that since King is actually headquartered in the UK, the UK would be welcoming and supportive and enthusiastic of a business that is based in its own country.
So it's a strange decision, especially the same week where Rishi Sunak and the government are standing up there and patting themselves on the back and saying how much they've done for the UK games industry. They're the only, this is the only kind of authority in the world that's blocked this transaction so far, and it will scupper it globally. And I reckon as a result, Microsoft will probably pull out of the UK.
What I want to ask you is, why do you not issue a broader license as a remedy in markets like the UK to solely cloud-focused gaming companies?
Well, for starters, cloud gaming is an inconsequential part of the business. Their belief was that somehow cloud gaming was going to be the biggest growth area in the industry. I think what Microsoft offered in remedies already is availability of their content and licenses to almost anybody that had an interest in pursuing cloud gaming.
They've actually gone on a really kind of tiny margin of this and said that Microsoft are getting into what's called the cloud gaming market. Now, the cloud gaming market is where you don't need a games console. You'll be able to play it on your mobile phone. You might play it on your TV. You play it in various other places. And they're saying because as a result of this and buying that company, it might mean that Microsoft gets unfair advantage in a sector that's currently less than 5% of the games industry. So it makes no sense at all. Does sound like Microsoft are going to appeal against this. I just think it sends all the wrong messages, because the UK might not have the biggest amount of investment in video games, but we make some of the biggest games in this country. Some of the genuinely biggest blockbuster games and titles, which are world bestsellers, are originated from creative people here in the UK. So it would be such a shame if the market feels that the UK can no longer be the place where these companies can be fostered and developed, which appears, even though Rishi Sunak is violently denying it, what's happened here.
It's very clear that the UK is trying to send a signal to Microsoft that they can fix this. They didn't say we deny this because we just think that there's an irreparable harm. They said Microsoft didn't offer enough. Here's what they should have offered. And that's a signal to Microsoft that if they come to the table and concede what the UK has asked for, they're going to get their deal done. So I actually expect that to happen. I think it'll be a matter of weeks. The market thinks this is not going to happen, so the stock has gone down. I frankly think that they're going to reach an accommodation. And the accommodation is that either they keep Activision's content off of their own game streaming service, the Microsoft Game Pass service, or they commit that they will make that content available for other services which haven't yet even launched. And keep in mind, Google shuttered their service. Amazon's never quite been able to launch their service. NVIDIA just launched one. So big tech behemoths can't even compete without Activision content, and Microsoft doesn't have it. This is a bad business. I doubt anybody's ever going to compete, but I think Microsoft salvages this thing in the next several weeks.
I think it's bad for Britain. The business community, the investment community, and the technology sector around the world have been following this case. And the strong message the CMA has sent is not just to surprise everyone who fully expected this acquisition to be approved, but to send a message that I think will discourage innovation and investment in the United Kingdom. And I think in that sense, the impact of this decision is far broader than on Microsoft or this acquisition alone. Microsoft has been in the United Kingdom for 40 years, and we play a vital role, not just supporting businesses and nonprofits, but even defending the nation from cybersecurity threats. But this decision, I have to say, is probably the darkest day in our 4 decades in Britain. It does more to shake our confidence in the future of the opportunity to grow a technology business in Britain than we've ever confronted before.
Conclusions were so flawed that we should be able to get an accelerated result. And
that would have to happen in the next 2 months, basically, 2.5, 3 months, right?
Well, I can't tell you what the timing would be yet because we haven't filed our appeals briefing, but you know, we'll get a lot more detail over the course of the next week.
No, the future is digital. The future is gaming. It seems completely dunderheaded to me this would happen. Do you think that appeal has any chance of success?
Well, I don't know whether or not it's something that Rishi Sunak will want to row back on. But if the government are openly inviting tech companies to the UK and saying, look, we're the place to come and have a business after Brexit, etc., this just sends out completely the wrong message. Microsoft have been here in the UK for 40 years. They've got a massive base in London and they've got a massive base in Reading. They're already saying, as a result of this hearing, that they may take the ball and run away and leave, and I don't blame them.
Wow, I know that was long, guys. Thank you for bearing.
No, that was nice.
That was
fire. That was fire.
That was over 30 minutes of stuff that I whittled down, and that was not even close to all the interviews that were out there. I didn't want to make it too long.
It's clear the UK are very angry.
Yeah. I mean, it's I didn't want to just show the American side because this isn't about America, right? I wanted to show the BBC. I wanted to show GNC and the other, London and whatnot from their perspective. Because sometimes I feel like we live in a bubble, and I'm just like, are we just in an echo chamber as Americans, are just talking to each other, and are we the only ones who care? And it seems like universally, from what I found, everyone thinks this is just crazy. So post up thoughts, brother. Like what?
I was flabbergasted. I'm like, look, man, none of this make any sense. And it's crazy that initially when all this played out, their main concern, cloud was a part of it, but their focal point was PlayStation and Call of Duty. If you look at the first provisional finding they put out, which pretty much went word for word what Sony said to Brazilian regulatory body, the CMA pretty much kind of mimicked that. I won't say word for word, but they were pretty much in line. It was pretty close. And so you had the social media go an uproar saying, look, you guys are sounding like you are only here to protect Sony and not gamers in the playing field in terms of competition. Then in the provisional findings, they doubled down on it and then came with some bad math, right? Microsoft corrected them on that bad math, and they had to do something that they rarely, if ever, had to do. And if you've been following this, you'll see some of the analysts that came out and said, look, the CMA will rather die than have to pivot on a provisional finding. But Microsoft, the new data that Microsoft brought to the table made them do that. What were they in their feeling because of that? I do not know. And so I have an understanding that up until that point, they was very they was conversing with Microsoft back and forth. Microsoft said pretty much 2 weeks prior to the final decision, they went dark, they went black, right? We know they spent some time with the FTC. I don't want to call collusion, but I know my government and the American government, and then a lot of stuff that we say or think don't happen always happen. And every time we say it don't happen, then we find out weeks or months later in a news article that it actually did happen. So, and I look at it like this, man. This is very irrational, very irrational. You don't have enough data. You don't have enough data in a market that barely exists to justify what you think Microsoft would do in that market. First of all, that's off back. You're sitting up here saying you're projecting, right?
Right. Which let's be fair, that's literally FTC's CMA. That's what they're supposed to do. So I think a lot of people, we do want to be fair here and let people understand that that's literally what they're supposed to do. So I know a lot of people on Twitter get angry that they're projecting markets. They're supposed to do that. But I agree with you, Post. Where's the data based off of what? Right?
You can project data, but it has to be backed by substantial evidence.
Absolutely.
Right. It's one thing to have facts or to make. They got called out by the CA. That's why They got called out by the CAT, the competition tribunal, about that with the Meta deal, about projecting and assuming. They called them out on that and told them they need to pull back on that. And they're doing the same thing in this merger that, you know, the competition tribunal told them to pull back off and stop doing in the last merger. It's crazy. You're sitting up here saying that Cloud or xCloud is an input driver to Game Pass. Man, Cloud, when Game Pass was out, when Game Pass first came out, xCloud didn't even exist.
Yeah, what was a cloud? A cloud was in the sky. Like,
exactly.
Honest, they act like it was their intention already, and it's just ludicrous. And you know what? I feel you on that passion and that frustration, because, and it must feel like such a kick in the face to the UK, because that's their home. Like, for them to say, no, you know, we're not going to accept this. I mean, what an absolute joke, honestly.
Yeah. How on the decision of killing this because of cloud, how the hell does that help anyone in the UK? How does that help any individual whatsoever that might have been thinking about going to one of these cheaper streaming services, which is probably going to be cheaper than something like Game Pass Ultimate? How the heck does this hurt? I mean, how does this help your average person? This is straight up just against, to me, it seems like Microsoft. It's against big tech. It's just, and it's helping Sony. How does the cloud argument help? How does it help your average person? It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It does the opposite.
It doesn't at all. When, like I said, when Game Pass was doing them numbers, 5 million, 10 million, 15, way before xCloud even existed. Right. So that lets you know the content, the main driver of Game Pass will always be content. No matter what additions that they add to Game Pass,
to the
in
service,
terms of cloud, new features here, even family plan and stuff, none of that matters unless you have the content to pull people in. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And then you run with the numbers saying, look, I'm gonna count every Game Pass subscriber.
Ridiculous.
I'm gonna count them all.
That's so ridiculous to me. I mean, that's, again, it's the CMA and their bad arithmetic going at it again.
Bad. And then I don't like the sudden pivot though, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the sudden pivot. It was quick.
It's desperate. It's so desperate.
Yes.
Did they not realize how dumb this looks? Like, I'm sorry. This needs to change. And I've said this before. Like, the systems in this merger has just shown how archaic this system is,
and outdated. And yes.
And how much it needs to change. I get it. It's scary. Like, I'm a teacher myself. I'm teaching kids things that I'm preparing them for jobs that don't exist yet. I get it. You're scared. You're worried. You're not quite sure what that means. All you know is it's a big number. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, we don't know where cloud gaming is going to go. Microsoft's got their finger on the pulse in regards to this. I'm sure they have hopes for the future, but it's not here yet. And I don't think it'll even get here in the next 10 years, to be honest. And that's all they should really, all they should be really concerning themselves with. And I think they're grasping at straws, and it's ridiculous. I wanted to mention something that King David actually mentioned on the show with us,
sure, on
Xbox Infinite, and he said that Blizzard Activision had that horrendous. I'm not sure if you remember a while back, but there was women that were treated horribly in their business, and it actually made me unsubscribe to World of Warcraft. And I've played World of Warcraft for 13 years.
Wow!
I pulled my money out of it because there were women who were treated so poorly that it was disgusting. I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to say what it was. But you all know, and you can Google it if you really, really want to know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I pulled my money out of that, and I think that they will come very far by being acquired by Microsoft in regards to not only what we receive as consumers, but the way their workers are treated as well. People have said that Microsoft is one of the best places to work They have high job satisfaction. Their staff's mental health is quite good. And I honestly, if I'm thinking about the people that work at these companies, working with Microsoft will be a very, very good thing for them.
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely, Doomcutie. That's a very good point. And you know, there's the whole discussion with Bobby sticking around. Like, I think we all assumed after this went through, just based on common sense and good PR from Microsoft, that Bobby was going to be gone eventually. He has to, because of all the crap that he pulled, right? Like, nobody
turned a
wants
blind
him.
eye to a lot of things, for sure.
Turned a blind eye, absolutely. And he was probably going to get booted out. Now, if this doesn't go through, and I'm still on the fence, I have no clue now what the hell is going to happen with this thing. I do still think there's a chance. That's why we're talking about it today. It's a hot topic issue, but still, I think there's a snowball's chance in hell that Microsoft can get this through. I do. I think it's a small chance, but I think it's a chance. But without this happening, I think Bobby stays, guys. Like, look, the board had the choice to get rid of Bobby before, and in my opinion, the board needs to go too. Because they allowed Bobby to stay. That was their choice. That Bobby was their guy. They voted on it, and they said, no, Bobby should stay. So, you know, the disgusting things that are happening there.
If the acquisition does take place, then the board gets dissolved because it's being.
That's what I'm saying. So you're cutting out a lot of cancer as soon as this happens, and in my opinion, including I just wanted to mention the board because the board is part of the problem too. Right, because they knew about it. They allowed this to, they condoned it.
And then they backed it up by backing up Bobby, standing 10 toes down behind him.
That's exactly what they did.
I think that was missed in all of this.
Yes,
I think that was missed in all of this, and I think it was a missed opportunity from Microsoft. But I know they can't speak on. We can't speak down on the company we're trying to acquire.
Absolutely. They got to toe the line, right? You got to be real careful with this stuff. Everyone wanted the Hellfire Rain to come down, and they wanted Bobby to be gone already. I'm like, yeah, guys, they don't even own them yet. Like, they can't do anything. They can't even speak on it. It's too dangerous.
But the regulators didn't even take it into consideration.
No,
they didn't.
Yeah, it's weird.
None of the provisional finals do they speak about it.
Yeah, they do. They never mention that. I don't know if it's something they should have or they're supposed to mention it, but I hear you. Like, there was absolutely nothing from anything that I read that mentioned employees at all.
I just want to jump in real quick and real quick, just to say a big shout out to everybody in the chat. We have over 53 people in chat. Thank you so much for being here. Also, Kayasanti jumped in. Pixelbit G's here. Awesome. Great to see you guys in the chat. Go ahead, post up.
But you're totally right about them. Sorry, not mentioning anything about employees at all.
At all.
And this is what I'm saying. In Australia, there've just been some legislation put through about the psychological hazards that work has on workers, and now as of April 1st this year. Bosses can be arrested for manslaughter.
Wow. What?
If you have an employee that is undergoing stress from their work and it is proven that the work didn't do their due diligence to assist them and they kill themselves, that's manslaughter.
Holy
wow. That's some precedent.
You guys are that's super progressive. Like,
that'll
happen in America 200 years from now. Behind everybody else. I'm telling you, you know it.
But what I'm saying is we are living in, we use this term woke, you know what I mean? But we're very mindful of our mental health these days. And I tell you right now, they don't care about that. All they care about is the money.
Right.
There's some alliances in there that I can't actually see. I can't see because obviously I'm not a part of it, but they're not understanding the bigger picture here, and it's a shame. It really, really is, and I think the UK is going to suffer for it.
Agreed.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, when this deal was announced, you've seen the workers, employees that wasn't afraid to speak out on Twitter, excited about it, hoping it brings change. You've seen Microsoft pivot to what those employees wanted in terms of unionization and supporting it, and say, we don't just hear you. Yeah, we don't just hear you. We're gonna let you know that we're hear you and we're behind you 100%, even before this deal go through. So they start doing that. I just don't understand where this happened. And some happened. Somewhere no. I know what makes it silly to me is that you are a regulatory body that have in your policy divestors and behavior remedies. Right. Though the lady that heads you now don't really mess with behavior remedies. Well, why have them in your policies? Why have them as a choice for companies when you're gonna deny them anyway? Because you purely want divestors. That's the way you want to go. You don't believe in behavior remedies because you say behavior remedies aren't sufficient enough. One, number two, it would take oversight that you don't have the money and resources to oversee. Then why have them in your policies? Why just let these companies know that at the door when they come and try to get some approved in your country, that the only thing that's on the table is divestiture. You leave that little window open and allow them to believe that behavior remedies are an opportunity, and it's not. And that's what happened here, right? You go in on the rant with Sony and COD in a hardware space, you lose that argument. Then you take the same argument you had there and apply it to the cloud sector, and you took the bad math you had over there and brought it with you over into the cloud sector. It's crazy because you brought it with you. You tried to prove that Microsoft had an incentive to pull COD off of PlayStation when they told you they didn't. They showed you the number. You seen the numbers of how much money they would have lost even if they would have tried, and you came to a conclusion like, no, they ain't gonna be willing to lose that much money after just spending $70 billion. Now you over here talking about they got incentives to keep COD off of the cloud. I don't know who got it. Who told him this loophole? Who showed him this loophole? Because it came out of nowhere. This is one of the biggest flips I have ever seen, and it's just crazy, man. I'm still trying to process.
It's hard to process.
All.
Yeah, it's hard to process.
It's hard to
because
process.
It doesn't make sense because it's not logical, right? So you're fighting your own brain. You're like, how could they have come to this conclusion? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're sitting there blocking a deal based off data you don't have, right? You said in the final findings that you don't know how the market is going to play out. You even said third parties don't know. And then you allow someone to blame Stadia failure on the fact that they didn't have Call of Duty. Well, the real leader in cloud in the situation is NVIDIA, who announced 20 million subscribers a while back. And they don't have a storefront. They're not a platform holder or anything like that, right?
Yep.
They reached 20 million subscribers without Call of Duty.
There you go.
Make it make sense.
Right.
Make it make sense.
How did Nintendo survive all these years?
How is ubiquitous in what the other cloud guys, and why would they? And I want to talk about this too, right? My bad, because I'm
no. Go off, man. That's why you're here.
It's a lot of misinformation on Twitter, right?
Yes.
So they screenshot this portion of the deal where it says Microsoft will receive 100% of the microtransactions and 100%.
Thank you for bringing this up, Post.
You know why? Because they are the storefront. The games will be sold through them. The microtransactions will be purchased through them. NVIDIA Cloud is not the same as Microsoft Cloud. NVIDIA doesn't have a storefront. front. They're not selling you a game. You're not purchasing the game through them. You're not purchasing transactions through them. What NVIDIA set up, they're just an access point between your storefront and giving you the ability to access the games you already purchased anywhere. Right. And that's it. Bring your own game. So why would they get any percentage of Microsoft Store or any percentage of Microsoft transaction when they're not actually? They saying, you look, if you go buy that over there, we'll help you over here access that wherever you at, and we'll do it because we have some of the most powerful graphic cards in the cloud right now, and we're you could get the best gameplay through our service. And then on the opposite of that, Activision and Blizzard already came out and shared their stance on subscription service and cloud. They weren't on cloud before this because they weren't feeling it. They didn't like it. Even doing this whole merger thing, they didn't feel that World of Warcraft was a good fit for Game Pass and that it shouldn't be there. And that it shouldn't be on the cloud. And I spoke with, well, I can't tell you who I spoke with. I would say that. I would say I can't tell you. But I was told that it will be years before Call of Duty is even on cloud. Because the technical issues that comes along with that, it'll be years before they even get it right. Call of Duty is a fast-paced Twitch competitive shooter. I can see the single player mode being on cloud, but as far as I don't see any COD players playing competitively on cloud.
Yeah, I mean, who the heck would wanna? I mean, I've tried it. I did it with Halo when the cloud, when I first started using on my mobile, through Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah, it won great. That was before they upgraded the servers. To be fair, I haven't tried it since. I've tried other games. What I do if I ever touch cloud, which I agree with Doomcutie, I'm guessing 99% of us don't touch it, even though we have Game Pass Ultimate. So the fact that they included us, me, you, everybody as a number is ridiculous. But the thing is it's not. For me, it's not the best experience. It's not. It's gotten much better, but I usually play very chill point and click games, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like something that's not taxing.
I live in what they call one of the richest countries in the world, and our internet infrastructure is trash.
It's trash. Absolutely, it is.
I
don't think people realize how bad it is here. I think we think it's good, and then we compare it to other countries. It's not good.
It is bad.
You're right.
Even the cellular data back-end infrastructure ain't where they're trying to get there with 5G, and they still not there because 5G ain't nothing but 4G in disguise. It's just a marketing term.
It's smoke and mirrors, and it always comes. It comes to the big cities first, and then it doesn't hit. It doesn't hit the little guys. It almost never does. Right?
And it's
You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait for Elon to put the satellite right above you. Like it's just we're not there yet. It's a long ways off. And I agree with Doom 100% in suggesting that cloud probably won't even be a factor for like another 10 years. Look, I've said this before. VR, it's niche still. Even Sony kicking butt with VR. It's in the past. It's still niche. That crap came out. I saw that on an Oprah Winfrey like 40 years ago, for God's sakes. Like, it's just, guys, it takes a long time for technology to catch up and hit the masses. It just does.
Do you know that? Shout out to David Jaffe on this because he brought these numbers to my attention. 40% of people who uses, I think that's the number. If I'm not mistaken, I had to reach out to him. But I think he said 40% of VR users, after they purchase VR and use it for the first time, don't come back to it.
There you go.
That's a lot.
I mean, maybe that's a huge chunk.
Don't come back to it. I tried cloud. I haven't been back to it.
Right.
I haven't been back to it. Like I said, it's just, man, this is and I think Microsoft angle that they're going to approach, and they already put it out there. The way they're going to try to combat this is through the UK government and through CAT, right? Their argument with the UK government, they already put it out there in terms of the financial impact it's going to have on your country and the tech industry in your country. On that and that alone, the government can come in and intervene and overturn this if they feel as though it's going to have a financial impact on their country or in national security and things like that, which is why they brung up the business sector impact on this, and which is why they brung up the cybersecurity impact on it. Because
that was so done on purpose. I was like,
it was done
genius,
intentionally. It was done
absolutely.
intentionally.
When I saw that, shots were fired. I mean, I know like some people were like, "Oh, that was nasty," and I'm thinking that's what I would have said. Like, we are holding your country's security literally by the balls, and you just screwed us over something you shouldn't have screwed us over in the first place. But okay, maybe we'll pull out now.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of money that can be lost from Microsoft. So I don't know. It's calling
not just Microsoft.
I don't know if very true. There's two sides of this coin, right? It's obviously the government and everything that they have going and the contracts with Microsoft as well. But I don't know. But I did appreciate Brad saying that stuff because I felt like that was kind of an underhanded threat.
And it wasn't just
guess what?
Microsoft
I'm here for it,
making
and I'm okay with it.
It wasn't just Microsoft making the threat. A lot of people looked at it as distasteful, right?
Yes.
That's cool. And since in 2019, 440 businesses have left the UK, had fled the UK, right?
Yep.
And they're still leaving.
Motorola just posted something today saying they might be.
Motorola just posted something. Another company just leaving London Stock Exchange. You have ARM that I think is based there, saying they fit to sign up in the United States on the New York Stock Exchange. They're leaving. So I've said this since the beginning that this deal is bigger than gaming itself, in that the whole big tech, the whole tech sector, investors and everything was looking pinpoint focus on this deal to see how it was played out. This supersede just gaming, and the impact of this is going to supersede gaming. And that's why Microsoft is bringing this up, because they're saying, look, you're already on shaky ground in terms of your economy and people wanting to invest in your economy. You already got people that already left and investors that's thinking about getting out. They're looking at the decision you make now to determine whether the landscape is even worth investing in. And now you're saying you're going to make it harder for those investors, and not only big tech, but other small tech companies, because they've not only been blocking big tech, they've been blocking small stuff that wouldn't even have a news segment about it. They've been blocking everything. So you're telling them you're going to make it harder to grow here, to invest here,
right?
It's crazy. Hey, I gotta make a quick shout out real quick. We have over 70 people in chat live with us right now, so thank you all very much for being here. It's a milestone for us for a new show. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes,
and
shout out to the chat.
It definitely shout out to the chat. Amazing. Kayasante's here and a whole bunch of others, and it's so great having all of y'all here. We really appreciate it. If you guys have questions, you can record in the speak pipe. You can record a question to us directed at the Doomcutie, Post Up, RHETRI, myself, or all of us together, or just a comment you want to make. You can do that, and we'll play it here live. I'm sure RHETRI's going to be checking that here in a minute, see if we got anything. Good deal.
Nothing.
And well, come on, you guys. Come on, give us a question. But we greatly appreciate everybody being here. We just want to make sure that everybody knows that, and we are so thankful to have Doomcutie and Post Up in the chat as we take us into to hour number 2. Woo-wee. Goodness.
Yeah.
Post Up, did you have anything else you want to say on that subject? Or
I just want to say
go right ahead.
I just want to say the last thing. The competition tribunal perspective of this is irrationality in terms of their decision making, which I think they can win on. It might be a long shot, but the tribunal has appealed deals in the past. I know they got a 70% decline rate, but you know, it's still some opportunities there. And if you see in the media and things like that, Microsoft, Brad Smith, and Bobby Kotick has been using that word irrationality a lot.
Yeah,
and
it's a hit word.
Yeah, and I believe that they can win because because even the analyst that has read this is like dumbfounded, like what? So
right,
we'll see. I know a lot of people out there saying that the deal is done, is over. I don't think so. If the EU go for it and pass it, and then China comes, because it's 4 countries on the merger agreement.
Yeah, see, I didn't realize that. I was actually just going
PS4.
to ask you about that. I didn't know China was on there too. We knew the FTC, the UK, and the EU were on there. I guess China is too. But
China is on there. Go ahead.
Okay. To follow up with that, do you think that that's an agreement? That's an agreement between Microsoft and Activision Blizzard themselves.
Yes.
Now there's talk about just redoing it, like taking the UK out of that stipulation. Do you guys, Doomcutie, do you think it's possible that they could just literally erase the UK out of that agreement between Microsoft and Blizzard to say, screw it, we don't need them?
Look, I think the UK is very important to Microsoft. They've been there for many, many, many years. I know that they are looking to spread more into the Japanese market, and that does concern me. If the UK continue to block them, they may take their business elsewhere, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised. I think there will be a concession put in place for the UK, and I think that will be settled on during the next trial. And I hope that they come to an agreement that everyone is happy with. Personally, I don't.
Yeah, I know.
They keep finding reasons. They'll just find a reason to say, well, but this.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, at the end of the day, it has to go. What stinks about it has to go back to the CMA, right? So they still have to go back and say,
but it will go back with some stipulations. The tribunal just ain't gonna say, well, go back to the CMA. They're gonna say, look, go back to the CMA. The CMA, you have to take this into account. Then we'll opt them out. So,
but you know what? I think I would like to think that because of their history with the UK, that they will try their best to come to an amicable arrangement, or that everywhere there's both winners. So I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what's going to make them happy. I don't know what they're going to come back at them with, but hopefully it's something that says that they can still provide their services to the people in the UK.
Absolutely, yeah,
because when everyone games, everyone wins. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Absolutely right.
I don't know if they're going to exclude the UK because they do business in UK, and I don't think Activision is willing to go under that type of reorganization to pull everything out. I do think they could do a carve out where they say, "Look, we're not going to put games on cloud in your country or anything like that."
That's what I'm wondering. I think I'm wondering on the cloud side of it if they'll pull it out of the UK to make it a non-factor for the UK themselves.
Because
that's probably where I was going.
If they do this appeal and they're successful in this appeal, when they go back to the CMA, they're able to submit new concessions. And then we'll have to see that's if they even file the appeal, and Activision and their board don't deem it, just like, let's take this $3 billion, which is a year of profit for us, and let's get up out of here. But we'll see. But I do think it's enough misinformation in their final findings for Microsoft to approach the cat with a strong case. But we'll have to see where it goes from here.
Absolutely, Dave. Thoughts, brother? I want to get you in this conversation.
Dave been chilling.
Maybe just round this out, and we can move on after your thoughts. But just give us your whole shebang, I guess, on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll make it quick, make it short and sweet and right to the point. I said this last night on Gaz's show, the Game On Daily. I was fortunate enough to be on
Shout
there.
out to
Shout out
Gaz.
to Gaz and
Yeah, good dude.
yeah,
man.
and to Asa and
Yeah,
Colby
Asa
Swood
too.
was a guest on there too. It was awesome. Let me tell you, I was just kind of sitting back at all, and they're like, "Dave, you got anything to say?" "Oh, I'm just here." No, I'm just kidding. But
I'm
no,
just a fan.
this kind of question did come up, and I know that they seem to say that they didn't address some of the their broader questions as far as to why they blocked it, as far as the cloud part goes. Like they didn't feel like it was open enough and growth enough to some of the other different players in the field. You know, maybe that means Luna and places like that we haven't heard about these type
Right.
deals. If I'm Microsoft, if this is the only real holdup, throw in the kitchen sink. Promise that country everything they want. Anything they can, if it's on the list,
give it to
you
them.
got it. Whatever you say, because when it's all said and done, we don't know in the future of cloud gaming if it's going to be this dominating factor. I mean, it could be, and it'd be great. But for now, there's a lot of smaller countries that don't have the infrastructure to get it. Like we all talked about, to get it to where it's going to be a viable. Is it a nice convenience to have an occasion, you know, with the Game Pass Ultimate? Yes, there's times when I'll play on the couch and I'll stream because somebody's on the TV, and that's, you know, that works out good. But if as far as that's the only way people game, I don't know that is actually going to be the case in the future. So
that's a
We
hard
don't even know if COD is going to have its appeal to drive people to those services in the future.
Right.
Another game might come along and take all COD appeal. And, you know, look at Halo. Halo was once the biggest shooter in the world.
Yep.
And COD got its thumb that anything can happen. To base this off COD being a driving force for all of these cloud services to be successful, when you're not even sure that COD is going to be COD in the next 5 or 10 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, let me. We do address. Richard, read this one out real quick, and
Sure.
I don't want to address what he says because it's a good point.
Bound at WebDave's Outbreak Gamers, but I thought they couldn't change stuff if they go back and look at it. I'm guessing he's talking. Are you talking about? Is he talking about remedies? I'm guessing.
Right now, what it is it's been blocked, so they have to appeal, and when the appeal, if they feel like they didn't look at everything enough, then they can kick it back to the CMA. And if it gets kicked back to the CMA, which is basically what we're holding out for, then that's when we can say, or I say us, Microsoft can say, yeah, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. You had these problems, you get this is the second chance to look at it.
They would have won the appeal. If it goes back to the CMA, that means the tribunal is in agreement with Microsoft, and it goes back to the CMA, and from that point, they can offer new concessions and things like that.
But technically, and this is what Steele has saying. Luke Steele has said, and he's a lawyer that does this actual thing. In the UK,
in that area, right?
If they take it back and they get it and they look at it, the CMA can go, nope.
Right.
and then it's done. Then it is done.
That's why I've always feared the CMA over everybody, because I was on a podcast with Luke, and that's what I try to explain to everyone. I'm like, Luke, you got to talk on this. Like, if the CMA kills this, is this pretty much dead? And he said, yeah, it's going to be real tough to come back after the CMA, you know, kills this. And I was like, well, crap. Because a lot of people, I think, took CAT as like a federal court type of thing too, and CAT, Competition Appeal Tribunal, is really investigating CMA's investigation. They're looking at, did CMA make irrational decisions, make mistakes in what they did, and then it gets shot right back to the CMA. So I'm not saying, you know, I agree with Post, and I think that there is a chance here. So you're saying there's a chance? Yes, I think there's a small chance that this.
It's a chance, but it's a small one.
It's a small one. Like they're going, you know, now they're climbing up an uphill battle, but
keep hope.
We'll take that hopium. It's all good.
Hey, Retro, can you read that one for me too?
Yeah, absolutely. Malicious Munch, WebDave's Outbreak Gamers. Luna only just got here. No one knows what it is. Well, that's also a good point, right? Luna just kind of spread out their cloud to more countries recently. So he makes a good point. Luna, I think the only reason Luna matters is just based off of them being attached to Amazon. I think it's the name. It's good PR. You know what I mean? I think that's really the only thing that moves the needle there. MacBound.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. WebDaves. Yeah, you said that on Umbra's pod, but didn't understand that well. Thank you.
And
Yeah,
I also
well,
want
he's
to give a big
soft-spoken
shout
too.
out. Infinite Umbra is in the chat. Umbra, you owe us a song, sir.
Yeah,
Speak
as soon as your
pipe.
voice gets better.
Click on that when you feel like it. I know you're a little under the weather. When you're up to it, though, give us a little tunage, a little song, or just a question would be wonderful.
Yeah.
We have over 80 people in the chat right now, man. This is fantastic. Thank you all, everybody,
Absolutely.
for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here. If you've got a question or you got something you want us to talk about, please just give us a question in the chat, or get onto Speak Pipes and record a message, and we'll play it here live on the air. I don't know if you saw it. The Retro Doomcutie says stepped away for a minute, but she'll be back in just a minute. She'll let us know.
No problem.
She had a few things she had to take care of, but hey, life happens, and we're all good with that. We're blessed that she's here, and so glad everybody else is here. And I guess with that said, let's kind of move things forward, because I know you had a lot of other topics you wanted to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we
too.
got a few cookies in here, and that the next one is obviously Star Wars Jedi Survivor, not being optimized for Xbox, PC, PS5, everything it's touching apparently.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess I kind of wanted to talk about this on kind of two fronts. Self-contained with Star Wars at EA itself. And then I seen a lot of discourse with people going, hey, Redfall 30 frames a second. How's that looking now, guys? You know what I mean? So do you guys... I mean, I'm playing this because I knew it was very bad on performance mode on the Xbox Series X. I went straight to quality, which means I'm playing this at 30 frames.
30 frames.
Yeah, 30 frames.
You ain't the only one.
I am definitely not alone on this one.
Yeah.
Most of us are actually doing this, because I saw the comparisons, and man, once you went to the performance mode, it will looking real blurry, not too hot. Very disappointing. I really loved the first game. Guys, do you think there's something going on here with the PC? Just in general, PC obviously is the hot topic right now, because it's just infinitely, it's worse than The Last of Us apparently. Do you think something's going on with optimization in general? Is this, devs being lazy, which I don't kind of think it is necessarily? Or is this just we're pushing out a product too soon and we want to, appease investors? Post up, what the heck do you think is going on here? Because this is a kind of a pattern here now.
I go back to the pandemic. 2 years of the pandemic put everything on hold. It changed the culture in which how developers develop game, in terms of being at work in a group and gelling versus being at home remote. Not having a dev kit or anything like that, because companies were skeptical about information leaking, stuff like that. So they was very kind of particular about who would take a dev kit home. And I think the pandemic slowed down a lot of stuff. And then you come here, we're in 2023, 2022, last year, where things were starting to smooth out, but that don't mean the impact of that pandemic is over. Just the pandemic was over. Everybody went back to normal, but the lasting effect of that pandemic we're still seeing. At this point, developers don't have the time to continue to hold on to these games. I know a lot of the stuff that was supposed to be released in 2021 got pushed back to 2022. A lot of stuff in 2022 got pushed out to 2023. And now developers are just, look, we got to get this stuff out the door. We can no longer hold on to it. We got to put it out the way it is, and we'll just deal with it and fix it on a back end. This is unprecedented in terms of how many games. I look at that Jazz list that he put out. That list that Jazz put out.
I might have actually missed that. I'm sure it was long.
Jazz put out a list of games that came out broken. And it was about 8 or 9 games, if I'm not mistaken. That
was he talking just this year?
Let me see here. Let me see if I can.
Okay.
I can pull it up. But
Sorry,
he
I didn't
put
mean to
out-
throw you off there.
No, you're good. You're good. But I just think that it's at a point where they can't hold on to these games anymore. They had to get them out the door. They had to make.
Right.
Just imagine how much money that these developers lost of games that supposed to came out in 2021 and 2022, even 2020. That was supposed to come out that they had to hold on to. They had to pause development. That means you had to reinvest more money back in there just to pick up the impact of the pandemic. So I think we're at a point where they're just pushing stuff out the door. We push it out the door. We'll fix it later because they got to start making money again. They can't put the games off for another year or two. Besides Ark, we know Ark just delayed that game to the end of 2024. So that's and how long ago was Ark 2 announced?
Right. Yeah.
That should tell you
Ark
a lot.
2 was supposed to be out in 2022.
Yeah, these games are
these
games are coming in hot, and we put them out now, fix them later.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like yeah, it's almost like it's happening so often now. I have been indoctrinated. I am just used to it. I expect it. And I'm almost not getting angry about it anymore, which is kind of BS. We should be pissed off that we're getting quote unquote incomplete games or games that are just a messy product, especially if you're on PC. I'd be pretty pissed. Blue Arrow, RHETRI, did you have any crashes? I had 2 at the beginning and towards the end of the game. Oh, wow. Okay, towards the end. You're way past where I am. I did actually, Blue Arrow. So I'm not trying to say this game is without problems. That's for dang sure. I did have a crash myself.
I got the list.
Only one crash, but I'm only through the very first level too, which is pretty long. But I only finished that so far. So how many more bugs I'm going to come across? I don't know.
Post Up's got that list.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, I got the list. Jess said he put out a tweet. He said full price beta testing. Ironically, Diablo 4 beta was pretty polished, but he put out a tweet that says PC gaming 2023. Forspoken broken at launch. WoW Hearts broken at launch. Hardworks broken at launch. Wolong broken at launch. I didn't even know that.
I didn't know.
The Last of Us Part 1 broken at launch.
Yeah, we
Jedi Survivor broken at launch, and then you have. It's 2 more games on there, Redfall and Starfield with question marks.
Yeah, it's like to be determined.
Yeah, to be determined. So that's what 6 games. You know what I'm saying? And they all had issues, and it's on PC, and you would expect that PC is one of the most. It's the top of the food chain. You know,
upper echelon, right?
I
think it's frustrating when these guys are putting $2,000 down on a GPU, and it's still having the exact same problems as someone who spent $20. You know what I mean? Like it's that. I think that's a bigger problem is people just spending, and this is a small percentage of the market because it's like not even 1% of people who have 4090s. But I'd be pretty angry if I spent that much money. And it's just crashing. I mean, to this day, you know, I play a lot of COD on my PC, and it crashes. You know, well, it didn't crash last night. But that was the first time in months. It almost crashes like twice a night every time I stream with my buddies, like without fail. So I have problems still to this day with Halo on PC. So it's just. It's definitely a problem. Unfortunately, it's not going away anytime soon.
Hey, shout out to over 75 people in the chat, and also RHETRI, can you read this because I want to answer this person's question.
Absolutely. Meet Gamer. Why is Sony able to release stable first-party games if we blaming the pandemic?
Well, not all of them.
That ain't necessarily true.
Let's talk about
The Last of Us is a first-party game.
Exactly.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Horizon had many issues.
And what was that? What was that shooter game that they had that came out? They ended up buying the company for it. Oh my god, I can't think of it. Drawing a blank. I even bought the game. It's sitting in the other room, and I can't think of it.
Are you talking about Bungie and Destiny?
No.
The Firewalker. They just
No. This is when they oh my gosh, everybody's gonna
Help us
laugh
out,
at me.
chat.
Returnal. That's
Returnal had issues.
Thank you,
Oh,
Chad.
absolutely. Okay, I
That
can
thing
speak
was
on
broken,
Returnal
like,
right there. I dropped
beyond
70
belief.
bones on that thing, and it was you couldn't get out of the ship, and you walk about 10 feet, and the game would just break. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you brought up Returnal. That I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, I get your point. It seems like
Yeah.
that, but to
It
be
does seem
fair,
like that.
there definitely is some issues on both sides. It's not just
Right.
them.
And to be go ahead. Sorry.
Even Nintendo has had some problems with some of their games that have had to get delayed, pushback. You know, they just seem to have. They don't really talk about much. And Hogwarts actually was broken when it first came out. It really was. So,
and
they
to
definitely
be
had
fair,
some
on his
issues,
point too, though, like it's having a lot of broken games from PlayStation is kind of a relatively new thing. New being in the last 2-3 years. So I get where his point, what he's saying, because they've had that reputation of not having those issues. But guess what? They're right there with everybody else. We just named 3 huge games from them.
Yeah.
That had issues. So it's definitely I as much as saying the pandemic stinks and it feels like a cop out, it's not. I agree
It's
with
not.
post
Yeah.
up. Like it's a thing that is still the
It's
products
still
that we're
lingering.
getting this year. A lot of the products we're getting this year come from the pandemic time, right?
Exactly. And just think of Redfall. They came out and said, "Look, we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to give you the 60 frames afterwards." Look,
Yep.
I'm not
And credit to them in a way, right? A lot of people are saying, "Hey, what would you rather have? Redfall that tells you, a month ahead of time that you're going to have to wait for 60 FPS, or we just give you a game that's broken." Like,
Right.
and that's kind of like people are saying that with Jedi versus Redfall, and I think that's a good point. It's not exactly a one-on-one comparison, but it's a very good point. I would rather have Redfall at 30 frames and in a good state than a broken game that crashes my computer or crashes my Xbox or
And
whatever.
Doomcutie is back, so we want to get
excellent.
her opinion on this. Doom, welcome back.
As someone who's
thanks so much.
played the game. Yeah, what do you think, Doomcutie, about this whole lack of optimization and just kind of broken games coming out in general lately? Obviously, we're talking Star Wars as being the headline, but all the PC games and whatnot that have been hitting our systems. Do you think this is something that the studios are just trying to get the product out too early to appease investors, or is this something you care about? Like, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Personally, I don't know if it's just me, but since when did people care so much about games being late?
Who? Talk. Talk about it.
Like, I don't know. Does anyone else feel this way? Like, I feel like everyone is just, I think you mentioned it before, like some sort of echo chamber, like they're jumping on a bandwagon of hate.
Right.
And for people to sit there and pretend that, COVID was a cop out, clearly have got no idea how games are made, how these companies work, and how hard they work. I don't know about you guys, but for Stalker 2, you saw game developers in hallways coding this game. Like, I'm sorry. Are you a developer? No, you have no idea the kind of work this takes. And sure, there are probably times where people, have had deadlines and they've had to get something out, and that has put pressure on people to release things. And look, don't get me wrong. Like there have been probably many meetings about these games and saying it's not doing this, it's not doing that right now. And at the end of the day, the big boss said, "You know what? Put it out."
Put out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is not the little guy, right? It's not the little guy's fault.
It's not. It's not these small developers that people are like having to go on at Twitter. Like, geez. Most of these people you probably wouldn't even know who they are. But look, what I will say is, I personally, I don't play on a large screen. I've got a lovely Alienware monitor, which is very nice. But you know what? I play games for the enjoyment, the story. I like exploring new worlds. I like socializing. I like sharing pictures. I like having fun.
Yes.
And since when did fun have to be 60 frames per second?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Now, I am one of those people who wants that 60, but I agree with you. The whole sentiment, like 60 equals fun, it's just not true, right? It's just something we kind of made up. It's a nice to have, but it's
I
coming.
understand. I understand. Look, we spend a lot of money on these consoles. I have a PS5. I have an Xbox. I have got a computer. We spend a lot of money on this. I get it. And I understand that people might have some frustrations feeling like, these games are that they're being released with last gen technology and all this stuff. Quite frankly, the company that makes Redfall have never released a 60 frames per second game.
Talk.
Yeah, that's true.
Tell them, Queen.
Stop making logical sense, Doomcutie.
I just I just honestly I'm sorry. Look, not all games are created equal in that sense. And you know what? Does it really matter? No. Does it keep me up at night? No. But bloody hell, I'm here for fun. I'm here to have fun. Abdel 114.
I love that comment.
FPS, fun per second.
Fun per second. I'm stealing that.
If I go back to growing up,
I'm literally writing it down right now.
If I go back to growing up, none of this was in our conversation to determine whether a game was good. We didn't care about FPS. When Halo became big in the era where it was 30 frames per second, and it was a competitive shooter. At 30 frames per second, did people care? No, because why? They had fun.
Hey, I'm just going to mention a game right here. Here's a good one. This is a perfect example of thinking about this. Vampire Survivors. Where's my graphic fidelity on Vampire? No one cared. No one cared. No one was like, why doesn't Vampire Survivors look like The Last of Us? No one said that. They just had fun with it because it was addicting and it kind of took us by storm, right?
Well, maybe that'll be the sequel. Just kidding.
Give you all the frames, Dave.
They're making an anime out of it, so that's going to be 3D animation, right?
But I also asked that question: Does 60 frames per second matter in a non-competitive shooter? I know it matters in where you're on Call of Duty and Halo now, where you need those frames, where you want it smooth because you're competing competitively. Does it matter in a single player experience?
No, right. Like I think there is, I agree. I'm kind of like where you're going, Post. I think there is something to say, like a game, Redfall, where I personally wanted it to obviously be 60 frames per second out the gate. We're getting the 60 frames. So it's kind of,
I'm still going to play it if it ain't there. I'm still going to play it.
100%, which I said, like, maybe I'm part of the problem. I don't care. I'm still playing it. Versus a game like Starfield, where I'm like, it's okay. Like, I feel like it's acceptable for that to be 30 frames per second based on scope, based on Bethesda's past, based on what's Todd has said, right? So I think it's very situational, but at the same time, like, I think, like Doomcutie is saying, like, fun per second. Like, this should be about having fun, and I don't think we should base that around frames. We can be angry about it, but man, I think we need to stop harping on this stuff maybe too long and move on, right?
It's for clicks.
It's video games.
That's
it
is for
it's
clicks.
for clout. I get it. You'll want to think like you've got to say. But you know what? Phil Spencer's not, staying up at night worrying about what, I don't know, Master Chief 69117 said about, how many frames per second his match was the other night. Like, they care about us, yes, but there's no point adding fuel to the fire.
Right.
I understand that we've invested a lot of money in these consoles. You know what? And you know what? Games are expensive in Australia. But I've got Game Pass.
Talk
to Game Pass. Hey, y'all drop Game Pass in the chat. Like, if you own Game Pass, drop Game Pass in the chat. Security, we on the same page.
I feel like 99% of everybody here.
You feel me? All my Game Pass.
We're gonna do a poll while that's going on.
Look, if you've got Game Pass, like play Redfall.
Yep.
And you know what's the funny part about it is? Everybody that's on Twitter complaining is still going to boot the game up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. This post up. I love that you said that. This reminds me of everyone who's like, I'm getting the new Call of Duties. I ain't buying that trash. Best-selling Call of Duty of all time. Boom. There you go. Yes, you are. Stop lying. You're playing it.
Country accent. Stop it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And what you said earlier.
Call us up.
You have everybody that's playing Star Wars right now in quality mode. They're playing at 30 frames per second and don't have no issue with it at all.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? I was in a party yesterday with our friend Umbra and Pete, and it was a big party. And you know what? Umbra was playing in quality mode. He didn't even realize.
Oh no!
You want to talk to the panel, Umbra? You want to say something in the chat?
He didn't
Umbra?
even know. You know what? And he didn't realize. But he's gone back. He's put it back on performance.
You corrected his ways.
Yo, you shouldn't even said nothing. And guess what? Guess how
he was having fun. He was having fun.
Guess how many people is like that out there that's playing in quality mode and don't know they're playing in 30 frames per second.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, you called Umbra out.
Umbra.
Hey.
Yeah, we see you, Umbra. We see
No.
you, Umbra.
You know what you can do, Umbra?
As a point. You
can
it was a great, it was a magnificent point.
And leave her a message, and we'll play.
He really wants you to leave us a
answers.
message.
We need answers.
Yes, Punty. Yes, Punty. I own Game Pass. Thanks to RHETRI and WEBDAVE teaching me the 3-year hack. That's right. See, yeah,
fire.
You can get in on the cheap, guys, if your subscription is lapsing. That's the only way to do it, really. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I think it's. I agree with Doom. I think it's a lot about clicks. Umbra. I was too excited to enjoy another You Eat Beauty that I didn't notice at first. That's right. See,
it's a beautiful Unreal
the
Engine
UEs of the
game.
5s, the Unreal. Yeah, I'm right there with Umbra. I'm kind of a Unreal Engine fan as well. So we like to. We really love our Unreal Engine games. As Hogwarts was an Unreal Engine, just saying.
Exactly.
Far Cry.
This is amazing fun. It's smooth.
Umbra, you're being thrown under the bus. Don't allow that
This
nonsense.
is smooth.
But I will say, so Jedi Survivor is Unreal Engine 4, not 5.
There you go.
So you know.
Yeah, all the good games. Unreal Engine
Just
4.
saying.
There you go. Yeah,
Over
I
82 people
but-
in the chat, by the way. Yay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming out. Go ahead, Doom.
You know what? I just think that unless I'm in a competitive environment playing a competitive shooter, I just don't think it's as big a deal as people are making it out to be. I understand people get hurt from promises. People have intentions. Don't tell me you all haven't said something and then had to go back on it because of
Never,
an unforeseen circumstance. You know what? Honestly.
Do it all the time.
Yep.
But-
I apologize to my wife every
With
day.
this ABK
so, yeah.
stuff, I had to,
Do the
eat some
moonwalk?
crow. I had to take a L when the CM.
We all did. I mean, geez. I think our last title show was like definitely going to happen. No doubt. CMA's folding like a lawn chair.
I could have ran. I could have dipped off social media for a while. I still grab, but I had to walk it back though.
Absolutely. Hey, we all get it wrong sometimes. Some of us more than others, like myself. But it is what it is.
Girls, I'm sure I said, but honey, you're the only one.
Right.
And I meant
there you
that.
go, Dave. Better
There
meant
you
that.
go.
Sorry.
There you go. That's exactly. We're getting into some real talk here, but yeah. Look, I think, and I can see in the chat, a lot of you are saying that it really, the frames per second only really matter when you're playing first person shooters, and you're right.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and you know what? These games aren't first person shooters. So everyone, just calm your farm, okay? You're gonna have a good time. We're gonna play some games, and we're going to enjoy ourselves.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Damn.
And very
Relax.
soon too. Redfall comes out on Tuesday, and it's going to be fantastic. I think. Oh, don't come at me if I'm wrong.
And I think, look, sorry, I had something stuck in my throat. But basically, I get it. People are just upset because, like, you know, people have said stuff.
I was
they've been made
promised things,
promises.
Doom, though.
I
I was
was,
promised. They said I was going to get the 8Ks and all the 60 frames.
And I know,
you know.
And it's difficult for me to express myself sometimes because people are so caught up about it. They're so up in their feelings about it. When I just want you to realize that, number one, these games don't, like, the development of these games started before some of these consoles came out. Some of these games, like Starfield, for example.
Right.
And it takes a long time. So I think people need to just take a step back and realize that, you know, these kinds of things don't happen overnight. And like I said, there are setbacks, there are changes. There was COVID. There was, I don't know what funding's like. I don't know what, their team cycle is, the turnover of people. We've spoken about that quite a few times, especially with 343. And yeah, there's plenty of things that can go wrong. And you know what can go right? Your fun per second. Let's go.
Oh shit! I knew she was gonna bring that back around. Absolutely, you can always have the fun, and I think this is gonna be a ton of fun. Redfall, I think, playing as a team of 4, and you get your crews together, guys.
Yeah, I need a
game,
crew.
I think it's gonna be fun.
I need a crew.
Well, I'm around. I'm gonna have to. I don't know if I have you on Doom. I'm gonna have to add you on the Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, I'm offended.
I don't remember. I might have you, but I can't remember.
Well, WebDave has me on Xbox.
I do, exactly.
Well, okay, I'm going to call out Umbra, too, unless you're one of those guys who's invisible all the damn time, because Umbra plays a lot of games, but every time I see him, it says offline. So
because you know why?
He's
enjoying himself.
Because he's having all the funds per second.
No, the parties get quite rowdy, and even like yesterday, I had to excuse myself from a party because it was just like I can't concentrate. I can't.
Yeah,
like honestly, if it's more than 6 people and everyone's chatting, it's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Sounds like one of them OG Xbox party
Yeah,
chats.
sounds like back in the day,
way
like the Call of
before
Duty and,
Discord and all this.
Oh yeah,
them parties.
That'll make you grow up real fast.
That'll make you grow up real fast.
Those parties back in the day, you learn all kinds of words you didn't know existed. I was like, whoa! If I have a kid, they are not going online ever.
Yeah, MacBound. Darling, I couldn't get a word in. I couldn't say goodbye. I could barely say hello. Like, what was I supposed to do?
Okay, Fark, I got you. A pack of pal.
Nice.
Shout out to Fark.
You've been waiting for that.
Yeah, he shows up to the show a lot, and he has 2 accounts. And
oh yeah, he's got multiple in here.
He got multiple accounts, and when I read his name in the chat for the first time, I was like, "Is that a pack of pal?" And it just made me think of put a little bounce to it. I always kind of remix people names in the chat when before the show and stuff. So shout out to Fark. He's a man. He support. I see him across multiple podcasts. So shout out to you for supporting and showing up.
Heck yeah. We appreciate over 80 people in the chat right now. I can't thank you all enough for being here. Hopefully you guys will subscribe to our channel and continue to come back and visit with us every Sunday night. And we are so glad to have Doomcutie and Post up with us tonight. We're not quite done yet. We got a few more little things we're going to talk about. If Doomcutie can hold on.
One more thing. Yeah.
If Doomcutie can stick around, we hope she can. We love you.
I'm
awesome. We love having you here, and hopefully both of you at some point. We'd love to have you guys back. I'm just going to extend that right now. That in the future, sometime we'd love to have you guys back because you guys are amazing, absolutely fantastic. In the chat, I know loves you, and that's what we like about it. Real people, real talk, real fun.
Absolutely.
Because no matter what the big scheme of gaming and all the things that are doom and gloom or whatever, it is fun to play games.
100%.
It's great having people like this in the community, and we thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, and we might push the show back a little bit for Doom next time because I feel bad. Like I just I
know she was up at 7 a.m.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, if
you had the coffee. You had the coffee ready?
No, I haven't. I've actually just turned the kettle on. Actually, I'm going to make a cup of tea.
Nice.
But no. Honestly, I've been on a few podcasts where just the time is different. So I remember I was on Box and Burgers podcast, and I was up at midnight, and I was up for 2 hours. I was up till 2 a.m. for that podcast. And I told him, I said, it's going to have to just stick to 2 hours because I've got stuff to do.
Right, definitely. Yeah, sleep. I got stuff to do. But go to bed.
Yeah. No, but I love talking games. And you know what? If I can be here, I will. So thank you.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, it's like I said, it's a pleasure having you on, and you definitely will be back. We'll make it happen.
100%. All right. So I promise this is the last topic we got here because this just kind of excites me and I think it's cool. Now this has to be muted. This has to be muted. It's nothing weird. I say that for after the podcast. This has to be muted because we've already gotten in trouble for YouTube music. But so you just got to look at the quick visuals. A little teaser of Twisted Metal. With Anthony Mackie. So you guys can talk over this. This one's quick anyways. I didn't even know he was going to be in this, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, I had no clue.
I saw this earlier. I'm surprised it's coming out on Peacock. I didn't know Peacock.
Yeah, that's kind of the gotcha
they got
here.
those rights to it. They got the rights to it, so they know where
I
mean,
I don't
need to
blame
spend
them.
some money.
Yeah, we're picking it up.
Man, they know what they need to do to compete with the.
So right now he's jamming out to the song that we can't play. So it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. I promise you should watch a quick trailer.
Oh, Umbra in the chat. Look, it's gonna be trash.
You never know.
You never know.
Umbra, come on, man.
Now, come on, Umbra. Wasn't Master Cheeks your favorite show?
Look at this right here. Come on, man. Twisted Metal coming soon, July 27th to Peacock.
Yeah, and that's cool, man.
I don't know anyone that has that besides me right now because
I've got it.
I have Peacock right now because of Game Pass because the Game Pass Ultimate allowed you to get like 2 months of it free.
I told you I got a deal on it, man. I got it right now for $2.
I gotta look at that deal, see if I can do it. I really wish I hadn't done the Xbox thing because I think it's gonna flag my account and go
Well, what you do is let that expire and then you look for it and then you just add it.
Well, that's what I did with Spotify and it didn't work. That's why
Well,
I'm always trying to. I'm cheap.
It's not like it's not a trial thing. It's an actual. That's a promotion for the full year price.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Awesome. That's a great deal. So there you go, guys. Did you guys play Twisted Metal back in the day? What's your history, Doom? Did you play this back in the day on the PlayStations or what?
No, I've never heard of this.
Oh no!
I'll just be honest. I'll just be honest.
It's okay.
I'm just gonna be honest.
I gotta hear this. Come on, I gotta hear this. Come on now, don't do me like that, cutie. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's
you know
okay.
what?
it's no big deal.
And
we're you're how old are you, Doomcutie? Because I feel like we're all old here. Like everyone who's older, just
don't ask a lady that.
Just saying.
You do not do that.
You don't ask a lady that, mister.
No, right.
You know.
No, don't.
32. 32.
She's old enough to be a teacher. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
RHETRI.
I'm turning.
That's all we need to know.
It's my birthday on Saturday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I'll be turning 32. So.
Oh my god, did I not just call
so
that?
You got it right.
I'm not giving
you crap. To do it again.
I'm not giving you crap. I'm just saying that's probably why she didn't play this.
It's not.
It makes sense.
Yeah, MacBound, I'm 21. You're right. Women after 21, we don't age.
Forever 21, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? I'm deadly afraid of clowns.
Oh, dude, everybody is.
What? I'm so afraid of clowns.
Yeah, they did studies with children. It's like the scariest thing ever. Clowns are scary. Not you?
Clowns? No.
Yes. Have you watched it? Come on, man.
No,
I ain't watched it.
No, I'm not watching that. Absolutely not.
I'm just saying, but I would not. I ain't got the clown heebie-jeebies. I mean, to each his own. It's other things that I might be afraid of, but clowns, you know.
We all float down
here. Absolutely not. Do not like that.
She say no.
No, that is scary as hell.
Yeah,
Look, I'm just Googling some pictures. No, that is.
Cutie, even the smiley
He's
clowns,
out.
the smiley.
No,
No,
what
because
do you
they're all
know?
creepy.
Oh,
dude.
wow.
They're
What
all
about Krusty the Clown?
creepy.
He was happy, right? No, I'm just kidding. Simpsons. I'm just kidding.
Look, I can appreciate that this is quite iconic for you guys and for a lot of gamers out there. It looks cool, but I don't think I'll be jumping on board
Fair enough. Fair enough.
with that. But you all enjoy yourselves.
There you go. All right, well, Post Up, let's hear from you real quick on this,
Yeah.
and then we'll get to another subject.
Oh yeah, I was there. I was there for it.
In the beginning.
I was there for it. Let me tell you something.
He was a developer.
Hey, look, I ain't developed nothing, but I wasn't no clown gonna stop no. The Twisted Metal series was fun back in the day,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna give you another one, Vigilante 8.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. very true.
Another one in that Twisted Metal genre that was fun as well. Me, my cousin and his pops used to spend hours playing those games, Twisted Metal, Vigilante 8, competing with each other. That's just having outright fun, man. So yeah, I love the Twisted Metal series. Like I said, prior to Xbox getting into this whole gaming thing, I grew up on PlayStation, Nintendo, and things like that. So just because Xbox ecosystem became my ecosystem of choice and my preferred platform, that means I'm not going to be disingenuous to PlayStation and the things they did prior to Microsoft coming along. Everybody was on them systems. We played it so much, especially with the PlayStation 1. They had the bad CD-ROM, so you had to flip it upside down in order for the games to play.
Oh my gosh.
That's how much we played them. But yeah,
You know
Twisted
what?
Metal, Vigilante 8 was fire.
Got to clean off the disc if you put smudges on it.
You get the alcohol to clean off the lens, the laser piece in there.
Yeah. You know what? I was okay. So PlayStation 2 was actually my first console. I grew up not very
Okay.
we didn't have a lot of expendable income for that kind of thing.
Me?
And
That's why I was playing my cousin's system instead of mine.
Yep. And you know what? I couldn't even buy no games because I was on the first Game Pass. It was called Blockbuster.
Yes.
That was the
Yes.
and
it was so much fun though.
Yeah, and I used to go, and I used to, and it was such a pressure to finish the game. You wanted to finish it all before you,
Before you
could
get the
take
late
it back.
fees.
Yeah. And I remember the late fees were so extravagant. You might as well have bought the game. But anyway, I didn't get to probably play as many games as you all did. My neighbor actually owned an Xbox. My neighbor was the most popular boy in school when I was in high school. And we were secretly friends, and I used to watch him play Halo on his Xbox. I wasn't allowed to play because I was a girl. Girls don't play that.
It was like that back in the day. Yep.
I had to play SingStar on my PlayStation 2. But I did play GTA on there, which was pretty cool. Only because my stepdad had it, and I sneakily played it behind his back.
As you should.
And yeah, no, that wow. Okay, nostalgia just hit me. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But no, my first ever game that I played was Doom on a floppy disk on a computer in a garage.
Right.
And no dust management around there. None of this RBG lighting.
The best place to play.
None of these comfy gaming chairs. I'm pretty sure I was sitting on a lawn chair or something. So times certainly have changed. But yeah, this it's nice. I think it's nice when movies come out with from iconic games like that. This is probably going to translate really well to film. And at the end of the day, I remember Phil Spencer when he received an award at the New York Game Awards, and his acceptance speech, he talked about games being a creative space, and people forget that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some other titles come to film.
Just without the clowns, right?
Just no
Royalty is
clowns. I know.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
Right?
You know
we got
what?
the Fallout series
I'll-
coming
look,
too. So
Look, gruesome. I can do that, like hack and slash. You know, like Gears of War, like that kind of vibe. I can deal with, but horror and clowns
Yeah, I
and
can't
like
do the horror
like
stuff.
you like unless it's Harry Potter, like please go away with your witchiness. Don't curse me, please. Like I just
no hexes.
No, it's because I've got such a imaginative mind. I think
Yeah.
like I can
Put
don't
yourself
know about
like
other...
in, like you kind of put yourself in there. I'm the same way.
I can relive it, and I'll feel the same thing, even though my body's like, no, you're sitting on a couch. It's like, I remember that horror film. Like the first ever horror film I remember was I watched when I was 13. I think it was like The Ring or something, and I was like,
Jesus,
I can take myself back to that moment being horrified. So clowns and balloon animals. No, you're creepy. You probably have a white van. Please leave me alone. No, not fun. Not fun.
That's too funny.
The first one I watched was the last one I watched. I started watching horror and kind of demonic films. And it was Paranormal Activities.
Ooh,
and let me tell you something that literally shook my spirit. I'm telling you. It literally, I don't know if it was meant for me to have that type of experience or not, but I had it, and that was like, oh, nope.
Never again.
You never again. I stopped. It was a wrap.
Films.
It was I said, you ain't fit to disrupt my energy no more. I'm good. You only got to tell me once. You only got to tell me once. I start watching anything in that genre. Horror, I'm good. Nope. I ain't watching it.
Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. I like that stuff, but it scares the crap out of me. And by the time I'm done either playing a game or watching a film, I'm sweating. Because I'm like Doom. I put myself in there. Like I'll never stream live a horror game because I don't want everyone to watch how absolutely terrified I actually am in real life.
And I understand what you're saying with the imagination and how your mind works. You sometimes tend to get pulled into things, and they have to impact you in a certain way. And I felt that with Paranoid Activity. So I know what she's talking about. So I just like she feel about the clowns. That's how I feel about
That's how you feel in a Paranormal Activity. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh man. Dave.
Yes.
Were you a Twisted Metal guy back in the day? Did you play this or what?
I owned it the first one when it came out. Yep. I owned it and played it. And I played the PlayStation 2 version that came out. I played that one. It was cool. It was fun. I mean, but to me, it was, it was maybe a couple hours of play, and then it was on to the next. It wasn't anything that I didn't like try and beat it or storyline or anything like that. No, it was fun blowing up and running around trying to clear some levels, and then I was done with it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just it's not for me. I'd rather play something like the Destruction Derby or something like that on the PlayStation 2. That was, man, talk about bashing up some cars and stuff. But yeah, that was fun. And I do remember Vigilante 8 you were talking about. That was a great game.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, but I just want to know how many frames per second was this game?
I think it was 2 or 3, maybe 50.
Not a lot. I don't think it was a lot. But I had a great time. I had all the funds per second when I played that.
These conversations they have on social media now, we did not have back. Our only thing was buying the game to see if it was good or not. If it was good and it was fun, we want to count. We didn't even know what a frame was back.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
The only frame that existed was a picture frame.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess as we start to wrap things up, because we're getting close to the 2-hour mark, and time's been flying by because I love having you guys on here, and I could talk to you all night, but I know you can't. But I'm just saying it's been so much fun, and I enjoyed having you, and we reached almost 90 plus people in the chat at one time, so that's amazing. Thank you all so much for a new show like this. We greatly appreciate it. Well, also shout out to Mr. Joanna Dark, who's in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. And everybody else that was here is great. If you don't mind, RHETRI, let's and kind of on the way out type thing, and we'll maybe get some quick comments on it. But if you don't mind, play the trailer to Armored Core 6 that you've got in
Bring
down
that up.
there, because
That I can actually, I think, play the audio on. I think
that's
we're
cool.
safe.
That's cool.
Internet's
See if
will allow
anybody's
us.
interested.
Yeah, this is
in
a
that.
long trailer, so it's 3 minutes. But this is the new game coming out from Software, so something I'm definitely interested in.
Oh yeah, and I think it looks really good.
Yeah. Now, we haven't had an Armored Core. Jesus, I think it's been like
Doom,
13 years.
have you played any of the Armored Core series at all?
No, I haven't.
It's all right. Sorry,
I've heard of it.
No, it's from Software, so it's like that's what people are like. What? This is they make other games just besides the
Elden Rings and the Souls games. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's why it has someone like me excited, because I've never played a lot of From Software games, and now I've been waiting for a Mech Assault, which is just never going to happen because it's in licensing hell.
Right.
I love that game, so this is very much piqued my interest because I want a good mech game. We need a good mech game. Appreciate that, Umber.
Definitely.
Augmented human C4621 has awakened.
Slow-mo backslap. To be honest, I wouldn't care about frames either if I was garbage at FPS games. Slow-mo with the heat. Well, that's
look, Slow-mo, I'm
probably true.
I'm not a competitor. If you're a competitor in esports, sure, come talk to me. Do you hear those competitive esports guys talking about it? No, you know why? They play on computers.
He redeemed himself. He said, "Good show, guys. Thank you."
He did. He did. Oh, Slow-mo Flatback is amazing. We're gonna have to have you on here some night, buddy.
Yeah. RSJ
Well,
fan. I've never played an Armored Core game, but curious about this one. Yeah, I've never played Armored Core either. So this will be my first one, but I'm excited.
Awesome, Slow-mo. I'll hit you up, buddy.
Interesting.
You ready to climb the wall?
Single player, right?
Thank you, Night Journal. Appreciate it, man.
I don't know that part's been announced yet. I'm sure it's definitely single player, but I'm hoping it'd be great if it had a multiplayer component.
Ooh, I hope so. I don't know.
Watch out.
Why hide behind another's call sign?
So this game has been in development since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the
That just shows you that From Software is one of those studios that can pump out just fantastic games at the same time.
This was announced in 2017?
No, it's started development in 2017, and it's going to be released on August 25 this year.
Yeah, and they didn't make an announcement on it for like a couple months ago. They've been keep that under wraps.
But that goes to show you that they will keep a game in development until they get it right.
Yep.
Yeah, take a note, guys.
So, well, we know it might could still if it's been in development since 2017 and they come out with some issues, something wrong. But I think it's more. I just hope it don't. And I think we spoke about this on Chaos Sante and Everborn show because I was asking them about it being a Souls-like experience. Given that it's from Software, and they said no, even though the same team that worked on that Elden Ring is working on this as well. So I think some form of it is going to be in there. So hopefully it ain't too big. Take me back to Mech Assault days. I used to play Mech Assault online.
God,
on
love
Xbox
that game.
Live.
Yes, online facing other people, just trash them. Oh, so good.
But the boss battles in there looks incredible. Like
they do.
Yeah.
You're fighting, so I don't know. I might check that out. We haven't really had a really good mech assault mech game in a minute. So
no, it looks cool. It does.
You try it out, Doomcutie, maybe?
Yeah, maybe it's on. No, I'm kidding. I was going to say Game Pass.
No, you can say
That'd be nice. It would be nice.
I like saving money too.
Yeah, that looks good. It's reportedly it's going to have some PvP components, but most of the story will be single player. So definitely try and check it out for sure.
Fantastic. Well, guys, I just want to quickly go around to everybody and tell everybody where they can find you. And thank you both for being here. RHETRI, thank you for being here as well.
Absolutely.
Post Up, tell everybody where people can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at postup_SOG. And then you can also find me on Twitter at State of Gaming. We're probably going to go live after this show to make up for the show we missed yesterday. But yeah, please follow us. Follow me on Twitter. Please go over to State of Gaming, subscribe, look at the content, support the show, and definitely WebDave and RHETRI. Anytime y'all want me, just reach out, man. I will definitely support.
We appreciate you. And
Shout
I'll
out
just
to
let everybody
you,
know.
Cutie. Shout out to
Thank
you.
you.
I ain't gonna call you. I'm just gonna call you Cutie. You feel me?
If that's easy, some people like the Doom, some people like the Cutie.
Hey,
It's
I
all right.
just say what I say. I just say what I say. You know what I'm saying?
I did drop the State of Gaming link right in the chat. That's Post Up's YouTube channel, so you can just click right on over there after this, and make sure you subscribe to him and enjoy that show, because I know we'll be stopping in here in a little bit and check that out as well. Doomcutie, tell everybody where they can reach out to you and check you out. Where are you going to be on?
I've got a lot of socials, so I've got a link tree in there. Don't worry, there's no spicy links in there. Don't worry. You know, when I made it, I didn't realize people are like, oh, the only people who use Linktree have, you know, one of
Adult
those
sites?
Got
one of those accounts.
Got one of those sites. Yeah.
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
You'd be surprised how many people ask me per day if I have one, because there are
I'm
some.
sure.
I'm not surprised.
What?
No, there are some people that play games, but you know, like to play other kinds of games. And they will ask
Love
me.
it.
They will ask me, which is surprising too. Anyway, if you would like to find me and my mostly PG content, you can find me there.
Oh,
fuck
too
you.
funny.
Wow, I did not know. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yo.
I've shooketh.
I'm shooketh.
Post Up is shooketh.
Yo. I just messed. Well,
What, that people are messaging me, or that people think Linktree is linked to OnlyFans?
just to hey, just do you got an OF account? Like, that's crazy. Well,
Oh, the audacity!
yeah, that's
The anonymous mail in a social media DM is quite interesting. I could probably write a book or host my own podcast on that kind of thing.
Bless you for putting up with it.
yeah, that's
No,
crazy.
you know what? For everyone that's like that, there's others that are really good, like you beautiful people.
Yeah.
So thank you so
Thank you.
much for having me.
Absolutely.
Guys, please jump into a King of the Castle game with me. It's a lot of fun. So if anyone would like to jump in with that, to participate, you don't have to buy the game, which is awesome. So
Cool.
What platform?
PC.
PC. Okay.
Awesome.
But you can play it on your phone if you want.
Okay, I haven't stepped back into the PC world yet. I'm still in the Mac world right now, but I'm about to migrate to PC.
Yeah, I was on Mac for almost
Master
20
Ray.
years,
Here we
brother.
Yeah, I'm in the Mac
Come
world.
on over to the other side. It's
Yeah.
we got
got-
And
cookies.
I did
It's
that
nice.
because I just recently left Apple. I used to work for Apple, so
I didn't know that.
yeah, I maxed out everything.
I can see that.
Same here, brother.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I'm
Return
gonna have
of
to
the
go on
Mac.
over there to that PC because it's some things that you just need a PC for. That
Yep.
it's especially with all
Yeah,
this gaming stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
The Microsoft ecosystem, combined with Xbox, it's
Right.
really
hard to
really
beat.
great.
Mhm.
Like the games that you play on PC Game Pass, the achievements are all linked, and
Right.
it's honestly it's made so easy for gamers these days. Oh, I was going to say, in regards to my playing lots of games but not finishing many, even though I have finished games, I call that the buffet approach.
Yes.
So
Mm.
the buffet approach to gaming.
Little
So
bites.
definitely having a PC will assist you with that kind of approach. So
Definitely, definitely.
Very
Hey,
true.
tell everybody about the show that you're on with Risk It and Umbra. Tell everybody where they can find it. It's all those are in the description below, by the way. All the links, everything are in there. But go ahead and tell people about it too.
So every it's Saturday morning for me, but it's Friday evening for you all in the US.
Is it wild?
Right.
Yeah, and I think for UK it's like 11 p.m. I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm on Xbox Infinite with my lovely panel, Risk It for the Biscuit, Infinite Umbra, and Jedi Knight Pete, and we always have guests on every single week. Last week we had King David on. We've had quite a few. Yeah, we've had Post Up a little while ago now.
Yeah.
But we don't have cameras. But I tell you, it gets heated. Brisket is. I don't know if you follow him. He's a spicy man. He likes to talk and he likes to have his opinions, which is quite interesting. Combining that with we have Umbra, we've got Pete, got myself. We're all quite different personalities, but the conversation
It works.
Yeah, it really does. So we always have a good time. Definitely go and check that out. That's on Risk It for the Biscuits YouTube channel, and yeah, definitely. Check us out, see what we're talking about, and we'd love to have you all in the chat. You guys are amazing. These guys always show up. I know WebDave does. He's off there quite often, so appreciate the support. And honestly, this community is amazing. Honestly,
absolutely.
You're all so supportive, and I've spent the last 2.5 years cultivating my image in this area, cultivating a community for myself and the people that I'm around. I did not think I would ever get into podcasting, ever. Honestly, it was actually not something that I set out to do. But it's interesting because I have a public speaking background. I have, debating, that kind of thing. Obviously being a teacher, I like the sound of my own voice. It's but I'm very social, and I love talking to people. So this is great, and that's why if I have to get up at silly o'clock, like it doesn't worry me. So anyway, I'm rambling, guys.
Okay, I definitely got to reach out. Then I got to reach out.
We definitely appreciate you being on here.
Yeah, and if anyone want to add me on Xbox or anything, it's Doomcutie, but the I is a 1.
Let me turn on my Xbox then.
Yeah, but you know what?
Love it.
The Doomcutie that has the name Doomcutie like spelt like this that you see now, they haven't been online for 8 years.
Isn't that crazy?
But I can't take that name. I can't take the name, and I didn't want a bunch of letters, numbers after. So anyway, so that's what that is. Add me on.
Well, last little thing, Doom. Now you've done some articles recently that you have done. You've done a review on a television, a few other things. How did that? Come about to you, if you don't mind, because that was awesome. That was a great article, by the way.
Oh, thank you. So I write for a gaming website as well. It's gameonoz.com. And I work with a writing team, and we work together to put out gaming news. We review games, we review tech. And yeah, it's quite a bit of fun. I fell into this at the same time. It was sort of in the works when I first started with the podcast, Xbox Infinite. I wanted to. I think I'm a terrible streamer, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm not like a massive personality. I'm not, big and loud and shouty, like
You're
some
awesome.
like some people are. And I don't know if my personality is big enough to be in a space like Twitch. But I am on Twitch. I do stream. We hang out. We have fun. But yeah, anyway, so I thought to myself, what's a more grown-up approach? Being 32, or when I first started 30, I was like, maybe that's not for you. So I decided to diversify my content, and that's when the Risk It reached out to me and asked me to be on the podcast. I said yes. Then he asked me to be a permanent member. I said hell yes. Then I wanted the opportunity to combine my gaming experience with also, I'm university educated. I wanted to do something professionally within this space, and yeah, it's been amazing. I've worked with brands and gaming companies in ways that I never thought possible. If you present yourself in a professional manner, and people give me hate because they think I'm a fence sitter or my takes aren't that spicy or anything like that. I'm slowly learning to what am I trying to say? I'm slowly learning to inject my personality into everything that I do.
Right.
But I will say that if you want to be taken seriously, you need to have a professional approach. And that's the reason why I've been so successful with, I reviewed 75-inch television from LG.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, yes, the QNED 99, beautiful television. I did have to send it back, so don't be fooled. I didn't get to keep it.
But still, it's awesome.
But I will say, not everything I post is free, by the way. And I think a lot of people think, I'm out to, sell stuff to people and stuff like that. I have not enjoyed some things, and I have been open about that in my reviews. But you know what? People don't like reading. They like videos. They like short form content sometimes. So I get that. I probably need to learn how to do that a lot better than I currently am, and how can I translate my writing, my reviews and things that I do into short form content. But yeah, anyone who's in this space and does this knows what I mean. But the TikTok videos, the YouTube shorts, like all that short stuff that people like, that it can easily go more viral, can get you more exposure, all that kind of stuff. That's what people are wanting these days. People's attention spans are like so short.
Very short. Very short.
Well,
even right now, these guys are like in one ear and out the other. She's just talking, and I'm just hearing blah blah.
Not at all.
But yeah, no,
awesome having you on.
That it was just honestly, and anyone for anything in their life, things will come to you when they're meant to. Trust the timing of the universe.
Facts.
Honestly,
Facts.
I've never felt like I've fitted in 100% into any space, and I've been concerned about that. But when I started doing podcasting, when I started doing writing, that's when I really felt like, hey, this is for me. And you know what? I did it. I just worked every single day thinking that the right thing will come to me. You just keep doing you.
Manifestation.
Yeah, definitely. Look, life is not easy. It really isn't. And I personally,
believe me,
and we've all got stuff that we're going through behind the scenes.
Not
all of us use Twitter like a diary.
You mean? I
love it.
Yeah,
some people do.
Yep.
But I try not to. I've been dealing with like quite a few things at the moment. It's actually kept me off work. I can't return to work this term, which is quite sad for me. But you guys keep doing you, and keep doing your thing. You guys are great. You guys are doing so fantastic. And you know what? If you're not, reach out. Come into an Xbox party. Hit us up. So we'll chat. What do we call it? After the podcast on Saturdays, we usually jump into a party, and it's a lot of fun.
Like a game night.
Yeah. Friday night game night. And honestly, most of us are online. You can DM us. Please don't DM me for my links. All right, just
don't solicit any kind of content.
That's
like that.
crazy.
If you need to chat, if you want to talk games, if you just want to, I'll play anything. I'll give anything a go. So,
missing the link.
Oh goodness,
that's crazy, man.
Goodness.
Well, I just added you, Doomcutie. So look.
I know. I saw that.
Please.
I've actually got quite a number of notifications just now.
Yeah,
but thank you all for having me. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you,
Thank
both
for
of you
being
guys
here.
for being here.
Yep.
I'm going to close the poll real quick, and then we're gonna get to RHETRI's outro. We had over 78 people voted, and 86% yes, they have Game Pass, and 13% said no. Over 80 votes. I'm sorry. There we go. So,
As expected. Yeah.
all right, RHETRI, tell everybody where to find you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, GamePass_daily. I do all the Game Pass content, obviously, and Game Pass Daily on YouTube. And of course, I put the link to our Discord because we also do like gaming community nights. I usually do those on Saturday nights. It's kind of my new thing.
Okay.
I'm also streaming now too, so you guys can see the foolishness and just how bad at video games we in the group that I game with are. So you don't have to be nervous about gaming with us. There's no expectation about being good. It's the only expectation is FPS. Fun per second. So
that's right.
That's how we roll. It's all about having a good time together. So
Could be
join
worse
us,
than
guys.
Shirt that, I reckon.
couldn't be worse than K. Asante Star Wars gameplay.
I ain't calling out my boy K. I ain't calling out K. I haven't watched it. I have to go watch it.
God. You know what people give? So Riskit put up. I think what was he playing? Need for Speed? No, yeah, the new Need for Speed, or he was playing Forza or something, and people were full ripping his driving and stuff. And I was like,
I'm not showing anyone my Forza footage. No way.
I'm
kissing the guardrails constantly.
I'm good. I'm gonna put up one of my other members' gameplay. You ain't finna see mine.
But you know what? I think it's so funny because I'm not a competitive gamer. I never have been, but and I think people are brave to put their gameplay up there. It's easy for me to just crop out like a small amount of gameplay and be like, look at this, look how cool
the highlights.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is nice because you see like the cool moves or the cool combos that happen. Like I've got a few coming up for Jedi Survivor that I'll be posting soon. So it's like, but that's not the whole game. Like I get lost so badly in that game. I don't know where I'm going. Am I coming or going? I don't know.
I'm so glad it's just not me. I'm so glad it's not me. I got lost on the last game too, so you're not alone on that one. I'm just like, am I dumb? Like, why can't I figure out
am I dumb?
I mean, I might be, but
no, we're all just trying our best out here. We're just
That's
exactly.
That's
well, guys, man, thanks again for everybody being here. And RHETRI, thanks for joining me again, man. You are awesome and amazing. Help putting this show together, which you put a big part of the show together. So make sure everybody knows that the show would not be what it is without RHETRI. So thank you, sir, for everything you do.
Appreciate it.
Quick shout out to everybody. Tomorrow I have a new episode of the Outbreak Gamers going to drop with Pixel Bit G is dropping tomorrow, so I'm excited for that. Everybody get to check that out. He is a fascinating cat. And then got to record a show on Monday night, and then next week I will have yes, I finally got him, Lord Addict. That'll complete the
the
Iron
Circle
Lords.
of the Kings.
Exactly. I'll have the round table complete. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, join us back here next week. And hopefully, working on a few guests. We'll see what comes up. And thank you to everybody that's in the chat tonight, man. We can't thank everybody enough. And the guests tonight were absolutely fantastic. Thank you for everybody for joining us here on the Gamers Council.